How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at S.H.Figuarts Cure Bloom figure. So this is again a web exclusive figure, but you still get the window to see into the figure. You have pictures for the top, both sides, legal stuff on the bottom, and then the back you have various pictures of the figure, and it also advertises Cure Egret as well. And then to open the box, just lift open the side flap and then lift open the front cover. There's the figure all together with her accessories. So first you do get some instructions showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. So here's the actual figure itself, and for the most part I think this is a really nice looking figure. It's very solid overall. It's just really nicely sculpted all the way around. There are a few gripes, but I'll get to those in a bit. But taking a closer look at the face, I feel that they capture the likeness of the character really well. And then you move on to the hair, which is a nice matte orange finish, but then you have darker shades of yellows and lighter tints of yellow to really bring out the individual layers and sculpt in the hair. And it is really nicely sculpted. It's just really spiky and it's really accurate to how it appears in the show. So you have the nice spiky fringes, and for the most part all the spikes are solid. There are some parts which are a bit softer, so you don't have to worry too much about those breaking. But for the most part it is mainly solid, and because it's so sharp it can be a bit difficult to handle, but as long as you be careful it should be fine. And it's even sculpted on the underside as well, with all the different layers and strands. And then on the top you have the tiara with the glossy painted heart. It has a nice metallic finish. And then the rest of the figure is a nice matte finish. But of course for the chest, with this heart here, it is gold, so it's nice. And on the outfit itself, it is nicely sculpted. The ribbon is quite solid, so you have to be careful of that. And then the rest of the outfit, it's a nice matte pink finish, but there's like a slightly darker shade of pink to bring out the detail. It's not super noticeable, but it is there, particularly in like the small folds and creases. And that's the same for the yellow parts as well. There's like a really light dark yellow in between the shades, just to add that little bit more detail. And then the pouch, the symbol on there is really nicely applied. It's very nice and clean. And the paintwork is very nice and clean for the most part, but there are some scuffs, like there's this odd dark patch here on the skirt for some reason. I'm not too sure where that came from, or if it's paint transfer, but I don't know what really happened there. And then moving down to the legs, you can see all the folds and creases in the clothing. It does look really nice. But there is a bit of a seam line on this side of the leg. It's a little distracting, but it's not super noticeable. Then you go down to actual shoes, which are nice and bold. And then the paintwork for the soles are very clean as well. And then the hearts on the knees are a nice metallic finish, so they really stand out. Same for the hearts on the hands. So for articulation, the neck is on a single ball joint, so she can look down that much, look up that much, and because she has relatively short hair, the hair doesn't weigh down her head or anything. And also the neck joint is really stiff as well, so it's good that Bandai improved in that department. She can lean her head side to side as well as twist. For the shoulders, it's on a ball joint, so you can move them about however you want. It's also on a hinge, so you can bring your arm out to the side. And the shoulder pad here is connected by a ball joint onto the arm itself, so it follows nicely with the arm, so it doesn't hinder the articulation. And you can also bring her arm back. She has the bicep swivel, and then single jointed elbow, and then she's got the ball jointed wrists, and luckily she actually has pegged wrist joints instead of ball joints. And I mentioned this on the newer Precure figures, is that they have really weak wrist joints. And I always suggested it might be wise to use pegs, because then you don't apply too much pressure to the hands. So it's nice that they actually did this for Cure Bloom. So I feel that's a major improvement in my opinion. The torso is on a ball joint, so she can lean forward not really a whole lot since the ribbon hits against the belt here. So she can't really bend forward much, but she can bend back quite a bit. She can tilt side to side as well as twist. And then this belt piece is actually a separate piece. So it does kind of help with articulation somewhat. The skirt is a solid piece, but it's split into 3 segments. So this allows the leg articulation. So first the waist is on the ball joint. So you can move her legs about however you want, as well as twist. Each leg is on a ball joint. So she can kick about that far to the side. Kick forward about that much. And you can see how the skirt kind of gets out of the way for it. Kick back that much. She has the thigh swivel. And then the single jointed knee. And then she has the ball jointed ankle. So it can go back about that much. But because this whole clothing part is a solid piece, it does restrict it a bit. But she can tilt her foot forward that much. She can tilt side to side as well as twist. So she has all the articulation you'd expect a Figuarts figure to have, and because of her more simple design compared to the other Precure figures, she pretty much has all the range of motion. She should be able to get all the poses you'd want. But that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. For faces, she comes with a default smiling face, open mouth smiling face, a face with her eyes closed, and an angry shouting face. For hands, she comes with a pair of fists, a pair of open palmed hands, and one pointing hand. She also comes with 2 hands to use with Cure Egret so that they can hold each other's hands. And then she also comes with a fairy, nicely sculpted and detailed. And the head is on a ball joint so you can move them about however you want. And finally she comes with a display base. So my final thoughts are, overall this is a nice figure. She's really well built. All the joints are for the most part really nice and tight, and the whole figure just feels really sturdy and solid and doesn't really feel too fragile or is going to break on you. There are some minor gripes like the paint transfer from unknown reasons, and then the pouch does tend to fall off sometimes. I guess it's just not stuck on properly, so that's nothing major. But other than that, overall I feel that this figure has received a lot of improvements over the older figures. You have nice tight joints, the wrist joints have finally become pegs, so it's easier to swap out the hands and there's less risk on breaking them. And overall the quality control on this figure just feels a lot more improved in my opinion. And you're probably wondering why this figure is a lot improvement over the Futari wire Precure figures. It's because initially Bandai skipped over this season, and for their 10-year anniversary of Splash Star Precure they went back and created these figures, so that's why these figures are a lot more improved over the older figures in terms of sculpt, articulation and overall quality control. But it's still nice that Bandai did actually go back and create Splash Star, since it was quite a missing series to be added to the line. But she is a web exclusive figure, so she is quite expensive and you don't really get a whole lot of accessories with her, so it can be a bit disappointing to buy a high priced figure that comes with so little stuff. So I can see how people might skip over this figure, but for the fans of the series and this character, I can still recommend this figure. Overall, it's still a very solid figure and overall a big improvement over the older Precure figures. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.